Hello everyone, it's Melinda here with CatSmashPuzzles, and today I'm doing a puzzle that I've actually bought recently from Oakland Puzzle Company. They are actually going to be the next quarter Puzzle Club puzzles for USA JPA, and basically in order to get free shipping I needed to add a fourth puzzle in my purchase, and so this is the fourth puzzle. And I actually did find out that this puzzle was done in a competition recently from the Chicago Puzzle Club. And this one is called California Saint Cable Car, and the photographer is Emmanuel de Sosa. And so I thought this would be a good puzzle for me to maybe practice one of my new techniques that I've been doing. It is a 500-piece puzzle, so my goals are going to stay the same of staying under the hour for my general and under 52 minutes for my pieces per minute, which I will be updating very soon. I'm just getting the numbers in to basically change my goals for each piece count that I'll be doing moving forward. But I'm at the almost end of June here, and so I will be able to update those numbers and update my goals moving forward. But I really was kind of happy to see that this was a good one for me to practice with my new technique that I'm going to do, because it is a building puzzle, and so buildings are my strength, and I figured, this technique might be a bit of a slowdown because I'm not used to it. We'll see how it goes. But the technique I will be using involves puzzle trays. And I bought a couple puzzle trays here, and so I do think that I bought them too small. This is, I think, a 12 by 10, which is basically a piece of paper. And it's the right, the style of puzzle tray I want. It's completely flat, no ridges, easy for me to slide pieces in and out of. But I think I simply just got the wrong size, because I have decided to do this technique twice already with two of my shorts that are coming out. One was the Lady Liberty puzzle from Boardwalk, which was 500 pieces. It went okay, honestly, and I think I just didn't utilize my space too much. The puzzle was under 50 minutes for the difficulty that it was, so I wasn't too upset with that result, but I only used two of the puzzle trays. And then I used it for a 300-piece puzzle, which I think I did two errors there. I simply think that the trays are too small for that size of a piece. The pieces were too big. And two, I did a full sort with that puzzle, and I think that was a mistake. So I kind of went wrong on that puzzle, just the wrong technique in general. It was a good attempt for this technique for the puzzle trays, but I do think it was just the wrong way of going about it for that puzzle, unfortunately. So what I plan to do with my puzzle trays, I will be using 4 on this one. Since in a competition, a solo competition, you are allowed to use puzzle trays, but you're only allowed to use 2. And I do believe that in US Nationals, they do tell you the size you're allowed to use, and I do think it's a bit bigger than what I have here. I think it's about the size of the box, just a little bit too short on the one side. But I think it's like 16 inches by 10 inches, I believe was the correct measurements. I could be wrong about that. But I'm going to try to get bigger boards and use the 2 boards for practice. But since I don't have the actual size I want, I'm going to go ahead and just use 4. And that'll be my technique for this puzzle. Now, what is the technique per se? I don't think you can see it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these 4 flat onto the board here, and then I'm going to dump all the puzzle pieces onto the boards and spread them out that way. And you're probably wondering, well, what made you think of this technique? Why did you decide to do it? Well, I found it out when me, Christine, and Shay were doing our competition puzzles as a trio and practice in general, and we were just discussing techniques for the rainbow birdies that we've been doing repetitively, the speed run. And one of the techniques Christina said she saw was one team dumped all their pieces on a puzzle tray and they just spread them out. I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting. We should give it a go. Well, we did it, and for whatever reason, my flipping speed went so much faster. I don't know why. I don't know what the puzzle trays triggered that caused me to move much faster, but it just did. And it was very noticeable to Christina and Shay, and they just both kind of, shouted it out to me. So I've been anti-puzzle tray with my speed puzzling for probably the whole time I've been doing it. I obviously got off that train with teams because I think puzzle trays are a much more useful tool in teams. We've used the technique where each of us have pieces on the board when we're down to maybe 100 or 200 pieces, and we pass it around to each other when we get stuck. It's a very good technique, and I think trays are essential in teams. But for individual or even pairs, I have been very reluctant to use puzzle trays because I figured it's something else you got to deal with. You got to move it around. It's a hassle. It's in the way. And I think that closed-mindedness has caused me to maybe overlook some things with puzzle trays. So I'm going to expand my mind here and give it a go. Now again, I have tried this technique a little bit with just these two. I'm going to move it to 4, and hopefully I'll get some bigger trays in the future that are an acceptable size for a solo competition. But yes, I'm kind of excited for this puzzle. It is, I'll just real quick show you the puzzles I got from Oakland Puzzle Company. And I'm starting to feel bad about giving away some of the ones I've had. I've gotten some from speedpuzzling.com. I think I didn't buy one, but I think I got one from the Puzzle Swap. And so I haven't been collecting them. I think that was a mistake. I think I should have kept them, but maybe they'll appear again and I can grab them from the Puzzle Swap. But these are going to be the 3 puzzles that will be done at USA Puzzle Club. And we got Soaring Unbroken, which is their 300 piece. We have here Kianga. I think that's how you pronounce it. She has like a snake, I think, in her hair, I believe. Or is it maybe just a design? I'm not 100% sure. And then we have Raven Nevermore, and both of these are 500 pieces. So I'll be doing that with Puzzle Club. And just a quick caveat on Puzzle Club, I did get first place on the jellyfish puzzle. So I finally got a first place finish in Puzzle Club. So very happy about that. Technically, Mari beat me, but she did it after the competition results were in. So it is what it is. But, I think she's just much better, at home than I am. I'm pretty happy with my first place official finish, so yes. So that'll be the next 3 puzzles for Puzzle Club. Very excited about those. But today we're going to do the 4th one that I got with this order, and I'm very super excited about that. The competition from the Chicago Puzzle Club, I believe 50 people participated, and the fastest time was 53 minutes and 15 seconds. So I don't think there was not any super fast people in this competition, so yes, I'm trying to beat the fastest person there, but I'm not super concerned. I do think I want to be under 50 minutes without an issue. It's possible that it could throw me off. I might be overconfident on this one, but we'll see. I've been Oakland Puzzle Co. I think I've been in the low 40s on average with them, but I'm hoping the trays might trigger my speed with flipping the pieces and simply. Maybe I'll surprise myself and get under 40 minutes. I doubt it. If I were to do a guess, I think this will take me about 45 and a half minutes. That's where I think I'll land on this one. Alrighty. California St. Cable Car. Let's smash it. So, this was California Saint Cable Car from Oakland Puzzle Company, 500 pieces, and we did this in 50 minutes and 51 seconds. So a little bit slower than what I was predicting, around the 45-minute mark, but I mean, it was a bit of a harder puzzle. I was actually a little bit surprised that it slowed me down in certain sections, but let's go ahead and start about the technique that I did, and we'll kind of see how that really kind of worked with my puzzle style versus not, and, you know, maybe something I just need to continue to practice. So, first things first, I did put all 4 boards kind of next to each other in a square, and I dumped out the pieces on the boards, and then spread out the boards as I flipped, and also sorted the border. I've been really trying to force myself to sort that border at the beginning, and I usually been about half and half doing the border, but if I force myself to sort it, at least I kind of make myself have to do it. Unfortunately, I did not do the border. I immediately started with the white sky with the yellow sunset buildings up here, and then I sort of pieced the border together, at least the bottom part, and then worked on the red part of the, you know, the trolleyway here on the street, and then I just sort of built everything else around it. And one of the things I'm really trying to force myself to stop doing is being a bit scatterbrained. So I start on a section, or I start doing random things. I don't stay in one area and finish it. So that's kind of one of the things I'm trying to focus on. Now, I didn't also utilize the poster that they had, which I should have done, because the poster actually has more of the picture than the box does. Like the only down here, it's like it got cut off about right there. And then some of the buildings on the side got cut off as well. So I was a little bit confused as to like why this building wasn't connecting, but there was a line of windows. But so it was sort of I wouldn't say an unboxed, but slightly unboxed, just for the fact that I didn't have the full picture. But that was my fault. I didn't pull out the poster when I should have. And so that was on me. I do think that, no, the other big thing that I have a hard time with is portrait puzzles. So this one is extremely tall. See if I can pick it up. Here we go. It's very tall. That was a little bit more successful than the last pickup test. Still lost a few pieces though. Here we go. But I think that's really more of an issue of, I should have stood up a little bit more. I think that me sitting down sort of slows me down when it comes to bigger puzzles and taller puzzles specifically. You know, sometimes I should maybe think about, you know, doing them sideways, but doing a puzzle sideways is a little harder than doing it, you know, straight up and down. I mean, it depends on the puzzle. If it's a photograph like this that has a, you know, a bottom and a top, it's a little harder to do it from the side. But overall, this puzzle was fun to do. I'll definitely keep it and practice buildings with it. You know, I thought I was missing a piece for a little bit, but it was actually under one of my puzzle trays, and that is one of the things you have to think about when you do puzzle trays. So things can kind of sneak under it. But I don't think the technique is, you know, out the window. I've tried it once, it's not doing me anything. Something obviously worked for me when I was with my friends, you know, doing the puzzle with the puzzle trays. So I just gotta figure it out. I think the surface of my whiteboard is also very slippery, so combine that with my slippery puzzle trays. Might be a recipe for disaster, versus the table I was on, it wasn't as slippery. So just gotta figure it out. Definitely get the bigger puzzle trays, because I think these are just simply too small. So I would have won the Chicago Puzzle Club. That was done, I think, about 3 or 4 months ago at this point. Fastest time was 53 minutes and 15 seconds. And so I would have beaten them by about 2.5 minutes. So yay for that. But I also checked on myspeedpuzzling.com to see if anyone else has done this puzzle. And the fastest time on there was actually 56 minutes. But I didn't see any super fast people that I recognized, so I don't know if my time is really comparable to faster puzzlers, but I do think it's a harder puzzle. It's darker in areas, the trees are a little bit tricky at the end. But I do think it was fun. Very happy with this puzzle that I got from my Oakland Puzzle Company order that I got with my Puzzle Club puzzles. And so, overall, didn't quite make it to 45 minutes, but we were under 52. And this is actually going to be my last 9.5 pieces per minute puzzle goal, because I am updating my goals because now I've hit the 6-month mark and I have actually got my report all finalized. And I'm going to update my goals based on the piece count. So I've been using 9.5 as a general for all piece counts, so 300 to 1,000. I think that's an incorrect way for me to do that because I really need to just average out 1,000 pieces, 750, 500, 300, and that way I can put the pieces per minute goal based on the piece count, because my pieces per minute goal for 300 will be much higher than 1,000 because a 300 is a lot easier. So I will be doing that in the next video with a very beautiful puzzle that I got from the Puzzle Swap, and honestly, probably one of my favorite brands at this point. So you'll be seeing that in the next video. And then after that, I will have 2 episodes going over the Orange County 12-hour marathon that I went over to California with 5 of my Texas puzzle friends, and we were the Texas team. So I'm looking forward to publishing that with y'all. Have a lot of footage to share and a lot of things to say on that event. It was my first marathon. So I'm very excited to be sharing that with you. But as for California Saint Cable Car, we smashed it. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.